Minecraft player heads are one of the best blocks to enhance your builds. There are so many possibilities with these blocks, but unfortunately you only can obtain them with complex commands. Now, sure, there are other data packs that can give you some player heads, but are limited and a bit difficult to obtain. What if you could literally obtain any player head that you want? With Player Head Textures data pack, you can, and in an easy way. Let's start with the basics. Regardless of your configuration, you're going to need a setup. In this case, you're going to need to put a loom, and on top of it, an armor stand. We can now work with this. We need to put a player head in this armor stand, but not the one that we can find in the creative inventory. This is not going to work. We need to create a special one, and for that we're going to use the crafting table. By default, the crafting recipe is a piece of leather and a spider eye, and we get a blank player head, so we put it into the armor stand. Now here is when things get a bit tricky. We're going to need a book and quill and go to a website that I will link in the description. This is the website. Some of you may know it already, and is Minecraft Heads. As you can see here, we have a bunch of player heads, so we can choose whatever we want, like this helmet. Then we're going to scroll down way here, and this is very important, we need to copy this value. Back to Minecraft, we are going to open the book and quill and paste the value that we copied. Now this is also very important, we need to click it on done. Do not sign it, alright? Now we just throw it. And voila, it changed the texture and we preserve the book and quill, so we can reuse it again. Now this isn't the only thing that you can do with this data pack, it all is in the reload command. We got this message, and let's do it bit by bit, alright? So here you can get a blank player head in case you want to test it, but the most important part is here, in the menu config. We got this bunch of things that we can modify. First, we have allow players to craft a blank player head. If we disable it and use the recipe, by the way, is shapeless, we don't get anything. So why did you want this in the first place? Well, the blank player head is just a template, it's just an easy way for you to get started. If I have a different code, we can use it to the same armor stand that we changed the texture, like this one, and is also going to work. So as long as you have a player head that has a texture, it is going to be fine. To make it clear, you may have already the data packs that I showcased at the beginning of the video, so you already have a way to obtain custom player heads and you only want to change the texture. So yeah, that could be some of a reason. But the main one has to do with unlock all recipes data pack. If I enable it, it seems like nothing is happening. However, if you don't mind to have this message for the rest of your gameplay, well, then that's up to you. But this is because we have it disabled. If I enable it, then I get random player heads from nowhere. So this is a big problem, and this is all going to affect all players, so it's better if you just disable or don't have unlock all recipes data pack, alright? Now with the second option, that is the system to change the texture of the player head. The first one is throw, that I already showcased, but what if you want to have a better method, for example, like crouch? Well, we have another thing right here that I will go in a moment, but basically, if I throw it, nothing is gonna happen, because you now need to have the book and quill in your main hand, be near this armor stand, and crouch. Yeah, it's simple as that. This could be too OP, so that's why I have this next option, that is to have an XP level required for the player to change the texture. You can set it up to 5, and if I do it again, of course nothing is gonna happen, but if I give to myself a bit of levels, then of course the texture is going to change, and it will remove the set levels that I specified for myself. Quick thing to mention with this method is that you need to face directly the armor stand, otherwise it's not going to work. And obviously you are too far away, then it's not going to work, so you need to be relatively close and face the armor stand. Some of you may be asking, but Fractip, this method seems to be more reasonable. Why did you implement 2 in first place? You dumb? Well, that could be a valid point, but let me show you something. If I change to throw again, we can do this. Whoa! Yeah, you can automate it with dispensers because you don't need a player. Now, of course, you need a bit of space and it could have some problems, but come on, this is so cool. Now, with the third option, the recipe method. You know, it's pretty straightforward. If we can select it to hard, and we need a weird skeleton scroll and an eye of vendor. We click it and we got it. If we use the previous one, then nothing is gonna happen. The same one goes to the easy, so in case it makes you a lot of trouble getting these materials, you need just a stone and what dye, and come on, this is just easy as that. Keep in mind that none of these recipes is going to work if you disable in first place to craft the blank player head, right? Finally, we have make book and quill reusable. Do I really need to explain this? Well, it depends in the method that you are using. So now it's throw, and yeah, it's gone. And we switch to crouch, it is also gone. So yeah, keep this in mind. Now we got some important information. Alright, now what happens if you copied the value in an incorrect way, like you have spaces or other weird characters? Yeah, it works, but it changes into an Alex head. And also, if you have a blank book and quill, it works too, but again, you get a Alex head. Now with this, has the correct value, and then it changes correctly. So please do it right. Now, what happens if you want to uninstall this data pack, you monster? Well, there's a specific command, that is this. So if you click on enter, then yeah, it's uninstalled, nothing's gonna work, but as you can see, you preserve the armor stance and the player head textures. This was the tutorial for the use of this data pack. Hope you enjoy it and use it in your works. Goodbye!